Okay, so we'll start off with some black on the hog hair brush. This brush is very useful when it comes to applying textures. But now let's use it for painting the tree trunk of this beautiful tree. And I've taken some black. Also, I've added some water, few drops of water, not much, because this is acrylics. If you're painting in oils, still I'd suggest you to add few drops of linseed oil to make it flow. That's the only intention. Okay. And now I'll take in my round brush, or you could even take a rigger brush if you're working on a smaller surface. This is an watercolor paper. This is a watercolor paper, and I'm using this brush. The intention is to get a chiseled shape on the tip of the brush. This you can achieve when the bristles on the brush are very limited. You can't use this on a 1 inch brush or a 2 inch brush or a hog hair brush. So the reason I'm looking for the crisp edge of the brush is to get in some fine branches, as you're able to see now. So we got those fine branches from these strokes of this brush. And let's sort of come and apply the tree trunk, the sub part of the tree trunk, so that we get some foundation for placing in the foliage. We get some branches and twigs, sub branches, some more twigs on that. So that's going to create like a network, and that will be very helpful to make it look even more realistic. And it's going to pop your tree in the painting, especially if you're painting a landscape painting with misty background. A lot of crisp details on the foreground tree. This is a foreground tree, by the way. So a lot of details on the foreground tree will enable you to get realistic painting, and it'll also help you to get in some depth. Also, in this video, I'm just trying to focus the palette as well, so that you're well aware of what's the color getting mixed and what's the amount of paint that is loaded on the brush. And again, I've gone back to my hog hair brush, and let's sort of place it right over there. And to be honest, I'm not looking for texture in this phase. I'm just trying to tap it lightly. Also, you can see some textures on this brush, produced from this brush, as you can see. The lighter you're going to tap, the lighter, or you'll get very thin textures. And the textures will be, the gap will be very less. So it'll be more texturish. You'll know if you have painted this before at least once. So, yeah, I'm not looking for textures in this phase. In fact, I would be looking for textures when I go ahead and place in the highlights, some greens mixed with some yellows. That's the stage where I look for textures. This is just almost like a blocking in part, but I'm not blocking in this. I'm just trying to give it some basic shape with the help of some texture. Okay, let's come on to the other side as well, and let's sort of place in this beautiful color. Again, till this minute, I've used only black color. I've not used anything else apart from black. In fact, I've not mixed any color with black to get the tree trunk, to place in the foliage, to place in the twigs, the branches. No, only black. And tap it very lightly, super gentle. And one more trick is when you're applying the textures. I just told you now I'm not looking for textures in this blocking in part. Yes, I said that. But if you want, you can practice getting the textures when you're applying the lights. So let's take in some brown and yellow ochre mixed together. I'm a big fan of warm branches for trees. So let's mix them together. Now let's come over here and never jump into the brightest of the colors, or do not place in the highlight color at the beginning of the painting. Okay, so go with the dull colors, because you have some shadows, you have midtones, you have lights, you have darks, all sorts of things going on, and you have to play around with these things to manipulate your tree to look good, or to look realistic, or to look beautiful, or to look unique. You're very much capable of that. Just the thing is, you have to pay attention to basic detailings, some minor things, little bit of tweaks here and there will make your painting look very professional. And again, and this brush is a round brush, another type of round brush from a different company, but the work it does is the same. It's as good as using a rigger brush, except that the rigger brush will have longer bristles and this brush will have shorter bristles comparatively. Reduce the number of bristles from the rigger brush, you get a script liner brush. That's the difference between these brushes. And compared to a rigger brush, a round brush is slightly thicker. So I prefer to paint with this brush, especially the highlights on the trees. You can use a rigger brush, not an issue. It's totally left up to you whichever brush you want to use. But the purpose has to be served. That's the intention. And I'm just sort of placing in that color, pretty much with going with the colors of brown and yellow ochre. And now I'll add in some white and just a tinge of lamella as you're seeing me mixing on the palette. Okay, almost like a peach color. If you want, you can add in a touch of red or orange. So if you're painting an evening tree, this is a morning tree, so I would recommend you to not to use those colors or the shades, even the slightest of them. You can just use some for the highlights. For the highlights, you can use in some white. Definitely, you need white and touch of lime yellow or lemon yellow, touch of yellow ochre, but no brown. Avoid brown as much as you can, and that will help you to get a very good painting. That will make your tree look professional. You can price your painting for even more just because of a tree. Yes, that is possible in landscape painting. People pay extra for these. So this is a round brush, and let's sort of go right over there and place in the highlights. Of course, highlights also has many layers. It's not that you use only white, that's the brightest of the colors, and that's the only highlight. No, sometimes you have to go through some uh, at least 2 to 3 layers of highlights. So this is the first layer of highlight, and I'm mixing in some brown and yellow ochre with some white, with some lime yellow, pretty randomly, because I know this is not the final coat of highlight. I'm looking for warm colors, so I'm placing it that over here. It's a peachy color. If you want peach color, the main uh, two colors which contribute to peach color are yellow and white. If you want, you can add in some red. Yes, red, little touch of red and some white will also create a peachy color, especially not the crimson lake or something. It's something orangish, like a scarlet lake or a permanent red or a bright red. This will give you a peachy color which you can use on your trees to paint it for uh, evening scenario. Now let's sort of place some dark on the opposite direction of the tree so that we get some shadows. That's a very good excuse for us to place in some shadows. And I've not gone into the foliage part of it yet. So when I go for the highlighting for the foliage, chances are some of the branches might get covered and I might not be able to place in the highlights on those branches. So that's the reason I'm focusing on the branches, twigs, tree trunk, all of that. And later on, let's move towards the foliage, the leaves. Foliage is nothing but the leaves. Even in bushes and even some, let's say, pine trees, you use the term foliage. So foliage is leaves. Simple. Don't get confused. It's not related to painting. It's just an English term. And by the way, let's come over here and let's place in another coat of highlight and be very careful not to place in this color. This color is mixed with lime yellow and white and just a touch of yellow ochre. You can add in some Indian yellow as well if you want. That will also give you beautiful effects. And what I would suggest you to do is let the tree trunk dry completely, because there is yellow on your brush when you're applying the highlights, and that yellow mixed with the black turns green, which is not desirable. So I would still suggest you to wait and uh, wait for the tree trunk to dry. No need to hurry. You can take your time. The painting is yours. Time is yours. You can take your time and practice. And this is a very good example for practicing. Okay. And I'm just trying to cover up, no, not cover up, trying to blend in the highlight with the uh, darker part of the tree, that is the shadows, because we want midtones as well. And here we go. So I added some yellow currant brown. Okay. And this is an acrylic painting. So it's going to dry very quick compared to oil painting. Oil paints don't dry that quick. Any paint that is water based, like acrylic colors, acrylic paints, watercolors, they dry quick. And all paints don't dry quick because there is some oil content in the paint, the pigment levels. So that is the reason it takes some few days to dry. But for practicing, you can start off with some, you know, with acrylics or watercolors to practice some of that, and it will be very helpful. And this is the way I've practiced, and you can take your own approach. Always, you have confidence and have some practice, lot of practice, and you'll be a master at landscape painting. All right. So still, I've not gone into the foliage, and now I'm doing the branches, some twigs, mostly to do with the warmer colors. You don't see any cool color there. You don't see green. If it's a mossy tree, yes, you can add in some green. Of course, that requires layers as well. So this is a solid, strong tree trunk. So you can see there is some black, brown, yellow ochre, and some highlights. Highlights like white. Definitely, highlight will have white mixed with yellow ochre and lime yellow. So that's the basic, no basic understanding we should have. And let's sort of take in some yellow ochre and sap green. Again, they're acrylics as well. I'm loading this on a different hog hair brush. So remember, I used a hog hair brush for painting the tree trunk. Yes, that was also a hog hair brush. That was slightly big, and I took a bigger one so that we can cover more area. Yeah. But now I'm using a smaller one, not too small, a relatively smaller one for the foliage. Smaller the brush, the better it is for detailings. You get more textures if the brush is small on a hog hair one, because the bristles will be nearer. Okay, even if it's used. So always I would recommend you to use a hog hair brush of smaller size. If it's not for blocking in part, as I'm using now, you can use it for highlights as you're seeing now. I'm looking for a realistic look and feel. So I'm adding in some yellow ochre. Yellow ochre will not make the green look very bright. Whereas if I add in lime yellow to green, sap green, in the first coat itself, it look very, very bright. And I'll not have any scope to add further layerings of highlight on the foliage. So that's the reason I took yellow ochre. It's a good alternative. You may even add Indian yellow. That's equally good. Indian yellow is slightly brighter compared to yellow ochre. Otherwise, you can't tell the difference if they're shown individually. So it's okay even if you use either of them. And now let's come over here onto the other part of the foliage on the tree. Let's sort of place it right over there. Tapping it very light, very gently. You can take your time and just sort of playing in around the colors with the shades. Now we'll take in some pure sap green, pure sap green in the sense there is some yellow in it, but I dipped my brush on my palette on the sap green as you just saw me doing it, and applying very little pressure. And to paint this, you should know from which direction the light is coming, the source of light. So in this scenario or in this video, the light is coming from the left. That is the reason you're able to see a highlight on the left of this tree, the tree trunk. Okay, and just sort of let me move the palette. Yeah, there we go. And let's sort of use a highlight color, slightly brighter, very minimal amount of difference. So very slight difference. And also if you see the textures, it's looking realistic from this angle. I hope you're able to see that. So just sort of tapping it very lightly. Don't get carried away by the highlights. I know you kind of want your painting to look very good, but the trick is avoid highlights as much as you can. That's the secret. And just sort of, I know, placing the highlights here and there. That is the reason. Highlights are not going to be everywhere. Midtones and darkness should make your highlight to pop. Never brighten your highlights just like that. Okay, that's a tip I would like to give you from this tutorial. Okay, and apply very little pressure. Take your time and apply very little pressure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.